This is Newcap News with Emmett Murphy.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Moses is with us tonight with a look at sports, and the Border Kings had a great regular season, finished in first place, but that doesn't matter anymore. They're in playoff time.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Emmett. It's playoff time. Doesn't matter what seeding you're in, it's going to be a tough one. And of course, they had a bit of a battle. You know, I guess it was a 2-2 in terms of wins and losses when it comes to Sylvan Lake this year. So it was a bit of a battle again last night. We'll have highlights and more in sports.
And another warm day, Peter. I'm enjoying this a lot on Groundhog Day.
Exactly. There's a lot of sunshine there for those groundhogs to see their shadow. I'm not sure if the one here did, though. We'll have to find out in a few minutes. But right now, the skies are still clear in the border city, currently sitting at -1 with a light wind from the southwest. You can see that humidity is still pretty high, which is why we had to scrape our windows this morning. As we head around the region, a few clouds in the Lakeland region, currently sitting at -2, and clear skies as well for the Battlefords at -1. We'll have your weather details in just a few minutes.
The Alberta government is cracking down on safety standards after a Calgary man at a group home was killed by scalding hot bath water. The Persons with Developmental Disabilities program is under the microscope, and as Lauren Pullen explains, group homes here in the border city have been given strict bathing guidelines in response.
A daily ritual here at this long-term care home, and it's by the book with a specific procedure in place.
Before every bath, the water temperature is checked, not only with a digital thermometer, but by putting your hand or your elbow in the water to make sure that the water is safe for that resident.
But that wasn't the case at a group home in Calgary. A 35-year-old man died after severe burns from scalding bath water. Similar cases have happened in long-term care facilities like this one, prompting a province-wide protocol which has been in place since 2008. And officials here say following procedure has fixed the problem, with no cases reported since its inception.
We feel that it attacks the problem and it's not an issue as long as we follow the procedure each and every time.
Soon group homes here will have to adhere to strict guidelines too, including, for starters, temperature regulators in baths. Facility inspections will be conducted across Alberta starting in March, and many feel it's about time.
These folks that are being cared for by someone else are being cared for a reason, and they're either compromised in some way, so we need to protect them.
Workers here say it's all about proper training and sticking to procedure, and all agree.
And we hope that an unfortunate accident like this never happens.
Lauren Pullen, Newcap News.
The Saskatchewan government is renewing its commitment to wheat with a surge of funding into the crop. Over the next 5 years, $10 million will go into new research and development in the hopes of putting wheat back on top.
Wheat used to be the main crop right across the province, and that's changing a little bit, and I think that's why we felt it was important to do research and try and improve the bottom line for producers at the farm gate.
The minister says the funding will help the entire agriculture community, but also allow the province to help feed a growing population.
They talk about the demand for food by 2050 will be probably double what it is today. So I think here in Saskatchewan that creates a real opportunity for us, but also a challenge to be able to do our part to meet that demand.
Premier Brad Wall made the announcement today at the Saskatchewan Agriculture Wheat Summit in Saskatoon. The Premier also made a second announcement today, setting a date to table the provincial budget. The spring session of the Legislative Assembly will start March 5th, with the budget set to be delivered March 21st. Wall says it will focus on keeping the government's election commitments while maintaining fiscal responsibility and a balanced budget.
In the Groundhog Day tradition, if the groundhog sees his shadow, there will be another 6 weeks of winter. Pennsylvania's famous Puxatawny Phil predicted a longer cold season, while Ontario's Wyerton Willie saw no shadow, predicting an early spring. In a tiebreaker of sorts, Lloydminster held its own twist on the tradition, Ground Beef Day.
We don't have groundhogs out here, and Environment Canada announced that, well, hey, they got the weather wrong. So we figured we can't trust the groundhogs, we can't trust Environment Canada. Why Groundhog Day? Let's make it Ground Beef Day. He's got just as good a shot of any of them.
Well, it was exciting. I've never participated in a groundhog, ground beef, ground ferret day.
Bear the Calf was brought to City Hall Thursday morning, where official predictor Mayor Jeff Mulligan decided what weather area residents can expect in the coming weeks.
As the mayor here this morning on ground beef day, I've got to declare that Bear has seen his shadow.
Even though he says 6 more weeks of winter, let's face it, the winter hasn't been too bad, so maybe that's a good thing.
Once again, Lloyd put his unique Western spin on an event that is nationally known or internationally known, and we got to do it Lloydminster style.
Environment Canada is now predicting above average temperatures and below average precipitation for the rest of the winter, however long that may be.
Coming up, area kids receive some generous support to help with their learning. That story after the break.